Hey, the party don't stop, right? Of course not. We're going to continue talking about the physical components of an enterprise network. In this video, I'm going to teach you IP addresses and the AD server. You ready? Okay. IP addresses. Before we talk about servers, I want to first explain the concept of IP addresses. The maximum an IP address can be is 255.255.255.255, and the lowest it can be is 0.0.0.0. So what are IP addresses used for? Well, I'm glad you asked. They're used to identify the location of each of our network device. It's kind of like how your home address works for mail delivery. Now let's take a look at the back of our routers real quick. They have these little holes that we can plug our computer cables into. These holes are called interfaces. Each interface on the router is given an IP address. All our network devices, like computers and switches and servers, have one or more interfaces that has an IP address assigned to it. Here, let's go to our network diagram and label the IP addresses on them. This laptop here, its IP address is 192.168.5.6. Now let's say we want to get on the internet. Well, first, you're going to go to the router at 192.168.5.3, and then you're going to go to the switch at 192.168.5.4, or you can go to the .2, and then to the router at 192.168.5.5, and from there we can get on the internet, right? Okay, so now you know IP addresses is how network devices find each other. Now let's talk about another type of machine in an enterprise network called servers. Servers are pretty much the same as regular computers, except they're bigger and can handle more workload. Servers also serve a particular function that they have been configured for. Here, let's see what servers look like in real life. Let's just open up Google and search for servers. Let's go to images. Here's some right here. Sometimes a server looks just like a desktop PC because, well, again, servers are really just high-performing computers meant for a specific function. Sometimes they're flat in shape like these over here. Kind of look a little bit like routers, right? In our network diagram, we will use this symbol to represent servers. Now let me give you an example of servers so you can have an idea of what they do. In our first example, we will talk about a server called the Active Directory server. The purpose of the Active Directory server is to control who gets access to devices on the network. The Active Directory server is sometimes shortened as AD. The AD is a Windows access control software. It creates something like a club membership called a domain. So someone will create a domain called DOP on the Active Directory server. And before any server or laptop gets on the network, someone will make sure that they join the DOP domain. The AD server, by the way, is also referred to as the domain controller. So let me go into more details to explain the Active Directory server. Imagine, right, you just got to work at DOP. You sit at your desk and you're at the logon screen. From there, you can enter your credentials. Your credentials is what you use to get on your device. In this case, your username and password. So you enter your username, John B. Good. Then you enter your password, Paul is awesome. Then press enter and voila, you have access to your computer. Now you can do your work or you can goof off and watch YouTube. Hey, I'm not judging. In an enterprise network, before you log on to that laptop, well, let's say there's a guy named Bob. And Bob went to the Active Directory server and created your user account. The user account will include your username, your phone number, your room number, and then Bob will hand you his keyboard and tell you to enter your super secret password. So when you, the DOP employee, come to work, and again, you're back at your desk, you log onto your computer and your Windows login screen, you enter your credentials and press enter. At your computer at 192.168.5.6, well, that request will go to the router at 192.168.5.3. It'll then go to the switch at 192.168.5.4. And from there, your request is routed to the AD server, right? The AD server then compares the credentials you just entered against the credentials that Bob had entered into the AD server earlier. If the two sets of credentials match, the AD servers will give you permission to access your computer. That permission will travel from the AD server to the switches and routers and find its way to your computer. And that's when you hear that lovely sound Windows makes. Ha! The process of verifying your credentials, although it's elaborate, it actually only takes a matter of seconds to complete. Now, if I lost you in my explanation, it's okay to pause and rewind and listen to it again. Coming up next, we will talk about other types of server in an enterprise network. See you next time.